Why was the culture such under your watch that an employee felt comfortable targeting conservative groups? Did you investigate that?
You know, from my reading of the report, I can't tell if it was political motivation or if it was tone deaf, somebody trying to expedite a way to
You still don't know that this was political.
Excuse me?
You still don't know that this was political?
I defer to the Inspector General.
Well, I'll tell you this, Mr. Shulman. Your predecessor said that he wasn't sure if it was partisan, and that requires the listener to be as stupid as the speaker.
South Carolina Congressman Trey Gowdy this week grilling former IRS Commissioner Doug Shulman on why he could not explain the agency's motivation in targeting conservative groups, I should say. It was a pretty interesting moment, Judy, in front of Congress there this week. Are the media taking it seriously?
I think the media are taking it seriously because this is part of a trifecta of scandals, and one of the three legs involves us, and that's why. However, I think we have to, I have to point out that just because she took the Fifth Amendment, that does not mean that she's guilty of anything. And I realize that a lot of people are uncomfortable with that, but as a civil libertarian, I have to point out that you have to give her the benefit of the doubt.
Talking about Lois Lerner of the IRS, right, whose office was in charge of determining who got tax-exempt status. Jim?
I think I heard Judy say that the media are giving this adequate attention. Is that, did I hear you
Yes.
right? Okay, I just couldn't quite believe my ears, but I want to confirm. Look, Kyle Drennan, Brent Baker, and Noel Shepard at MR's Media Research Center and NewsBusters have extensively documented that, for example, the exciting news about Obama's picture at that senior prom from 1979 got way more attention on the morning talk shows than did the IRS scandal. Come on, Judy, give us a break.
What about it, Rick? There seems to be a media meme underway here that GOP overreaction to these scandals is going to hurt them in the next election cycle, that it's really all about the reaction to the scandals rather than the scandal themselves.
Yeah, and this started, John, in March of 2012. Alan Fram at the Associated Press wrote about the IRS targeting conservatives. March of 2012. Except his whole take was, this is just typical complaining. And fast forward to this week, we had NPR doing two different stories. Brian Naylor interviewing liberal groups saying, well, it took us a very long time to get our tax-exempt status as well, and so this is just pretty typical. And then you had Scott Horsley, the NPR White House reporter, who just chalked the whole thing up to the law is just confusing. I don't think Judy is right at all. I don't think the media are taking this seriously.
Well, some critics say that the coverage, leans more toward political partisanship than really uncovering wrongdoing.
Well, there certainly was, and some people who are reporters leaned into past reporting, such as Chuck Todd from NBC, who said, well, this reporters better not, or Republicans better not overreach because this would come back to haunt them. I was shocked when I heard him say that.
Why?
Because he's supposed to be a reporter, not a commentary person.
Oh, that's a new one.
Is it possible, Cal, for Republicans to look into this without appearing partisan or without maybe getting tagged with partisanship?
Well, everything is partisan in Washington. I mean, you'd have to be completely neutered. You'd have to be, I don't know, from another planet not to be partisan. But let me tell you, these hearings are very, very useful. Carried on Fox Live, carried on C-SPAN. They don't allow, now in the old days, you had to rely on the 3 broadcast networks to use snippets and putting through the prism of their bias. People who can actually tune in now and watch these clowns up there squirming after taking their oaths and dissembling. It's very, very useful, especially with the IRS, which nobody likes.
Yeah, that is correct.